Welcome to the McFarland Report. We're so glad to have you today. Today we have a wonderful show because this is the future of Columbus, and we want you to be a part of that future. We have another mayoral candidate here for you today in the name of Sid Caradine, and we'd like to welcome Mr. Caradine to the show today. We're glad to have you today.
Thank you, and I'm glad to be here.
I'm glad that you
Brother
are.
Kenneth.
Brother Kenneth, that's the way we talk.
Okay.
In the church. We are having a wonderful time today. We want to ask Mr. Caradine a few questions to let you know what Mr. Caradine is all about. You ready for us?
I am.
Tell us a little bit about your childhood.
Well, I grew up, Kenneth, in Memphis, Tennessee, and I went to Presbyterian Day School and later on to Memphis University School for Boys, and it was a boys' school that was founded in 1893, the same school that Freddie Smith, the chairman of the board of Federal Express, went to, and that great world traveler, Richard Halliburton. And so I had a good time going to a good school there, and I played football and basketball and track, but my early childhood was involved in scouting. I was a big scouter.
Boy Scout.
Yes, sir.
That's awesome.
I enjoyed that. I was a counselor at camps teaching rowing and swimming and life-saving merit badges, and then I went to the University of Tennessee and graduated in marketing, and after that I went to work for the brokerage businesses.
That is awesome. Now you have learned most as a child. What have you learned most as a child that you've carried into your adulthood?
Well, one of the greatest things that I've learned, Kenneth, was about morality and treating your neighbor as you would treat anyone else, as a good friend, a good person, kind of like the golden rule. I think I learned a lot of that through my upbringing in the Boy Scouts. I think that was one of the greatest influences that I have had in my life.
Oh, that is awesome. I hear you were a licensed pilot at age 16?
Yes, sir.
A licensed pilot. That is an incredible accomplishment. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, after getting my Eagle Scout, and at the time it was one of the youngest Eagle Scouts in the country, the older scouts wanted to develop further interest in scouting, so we had an explorer post, and our main focus in the explorer post was flying, and I was fortunate enough to get my license at 16 and fly cross country.
Oh, that is awesome. And you fly to this day?
No, sir, I don't. I left that left that on the ground a few years back.
But that is still an exciting feat.
It was. It was a great time.
Now tell us something about your wife. I understand you and her own Amzi Love.
Amzi Love Bed and
Love
Breakfast.
and Lincoln Home Bed and Breakfast.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that. How did you get involved in those businesses?
Well, as you know, I was a stockbroker after I got out of college, did my marketing degree, and I stayed in the I was a registered representative of the New York Stock Exchange and of the Chicago Mercantile and the Board of Trade. I moved down to Columbus in 1981 to open up a commodity division with one of the brokerage firms, and got out of the business in 1984. At that time, I started the Amzi Love Bed and Breakfast with tourism and that sort of thing. And I met my wife a few years later, my wife Brenda, and we bought the house behind us, the Lincoln home, and turned that into a bed and breakfast.
Oh, great. And this is located in?
Columbus, Mississippi.
Columbus, Mississippi. So not only do you live here, but you do business here in Columbus, Mississippi.
Yes, I do.
That is so great. We're going to take a break right now, but when we come back, we're going to let Mr. Caradine tell us a little bit about his path to politics. How about that?
That sounds good.
Stay tuned.
Will Colum's dad used to say, if you don't keep your promises, you can promise anything. At the Colum Law Firm, we always try to keep our promises in keeping our community safe from those who pollute it, those who fail to protect our workers, and those who deceive their customers. Some lawyers promise a fast buck, something for nothing. We ask juries for what's fair. Nothing more, nothing less. The Colum Law Firm, a different kind of lawyer.
On-Time Transportation, Stephen and Paula James would like to serve you. Professional service 24 hours a day. Call them at 662-241-6600 or go to their website www.ontime-ms.com.
Give us a call at On-Time Transportation, where we will meet all of your transportation needs on time.
Serenity Christian Supplies, located at 1906 Military Road, Columbus, Mississippi. Call us at 662-328-4445. We want to supply all of your Christian supply needs. Here at Serenity Christian Supplies, we have it all. Pete and Anika Perkins, realtors at JTS and Company. Call them at 662-329-9090 or 662-242-1694. They are located on 114 4th Street South, or write them, P.O. Box 1071, Columbus, Mississippi 39703. Call Pete and Anika Perkins. They are the family that can get you into a home. Welcome back. This is the McFarland Report, and we're talking to Mr. Sid Caradine, and he's the mayoral candidate for the race as mayor in Columbus, Mississippi.
Yes, sir.
We're glad to have you.
Glad to be
Now,
here.
when did you start considering politics? That's what we want to talk about now. This is what we're doing. We're in a political race for mayor, and we want to know what you are doing as it relates to politics. So when did you start?
Well, Kenneth, I started after college when I graduated from the University of Tennessee in Knoxville and moved back to Memphis, Tennessee, where I got involved with the scouting and the Memphis Police Reserve as a reserve officer. But also I got involved as the finance chairman for Zoo Action Program. It was called ZAP, and it was the forerunner of the Memphis Zoological Society, which had been defunct for many years. And one of the issues was that we thought the expressway would be coming through the zoo, and we didn't want that to happen. It had already been stopped, so we wanted to move the zoo to the Shelby Farms penal farm land, and that was a great big fight in Memphis, Tennessee. It was the old penal farm land of 5,000 acres, and what we did is we got petitions and we fought the folks and we saved it for the citizens of Memphis, and now we know it as Shelby Farms. And that was one of my first big political battles I did in my life, and I'm real proud of that. So when you go to Memphis and you go through Shelby Farms, whether you're kayaking over there or trap shooting or riding your bikes, I feel like I was a part of that. So that's when it first started.
That is great. Now, I understand that you had a run unsuccessfully for Ward 2 councilman seat. And what is the biggest challenge that you think it would be in this race? And what are the biggest challenges were there in those races?
Well, that's right. I ran for councilman in Ward 2 twice, losing both times, but winning my backyard, my box. No one beats me in my backyard, so to speak, kind of like Ara Parsegan saying no one beats us there. But I won that, and one of the big issues that I ran on was 16th section land, and we defeated that. And, of course, some of the things that I've learned that you go out, knock door to door, and get to know the people, and that's something I'm doing now.
Here in Columbus, the politics of Columbus, where did you see it then, and where do you see it going?
Well, I believe, as a lot of people may have looked at it, that it was kind of a close-knit. It was just something that you can't help but happening that because...
We call it a clique.
Well, it might have been a clique, but you know, back then you don't know about other people coming in. You know that this guy pretty well might be somebody that you knew, and you get them involved. But right now in Columbus, that's over with. We've got so many wonderful people that represent our community that are now getting involved in politics. That type of politics is gone. Those days are long past behind us.
So you see it going where now?
Well, it's open for anyone. And I think it's important that everyone get involved in politics. I think it's a great lesson, but it's a way to serve your community and your nation. And right now, as ever before, we need people to step up to the plate and volunteer. You know, commitment is one of those things that you said you were going to do long after the motion that you said you were going to do it is gone. So we need people to commit, and politics is a good way to get involved in the city. Volunteerism.
I'm glad that you said people to commit, because we lose some of our best qualified people,
right?
Because of the nastiness, the things that you have to endure as a politician.
Right.
So do you see yourself, if you win, you're representing all of Columbians and not just those that are in your backyard?
Well, yes, one has to do that. I like to think of myself as ambassador for Columbus. I've always felt that way. I've always been, through all my activities in volunteer organizations, which are many, I've always felt like that. And I think as over the next 2 years and 8 months, I will guide Columbus in the direction that it needs to go, and I will listen to the city council. Right now, we've got the best city council we've ever had. They vote 6-0-5-1.
They should stay city council.
I think Robert Smith ought to stay there, and Jay Jordan ought to stay there, and save the city a little bit more money for that next election, and I can work with all of them. I've always gotten along well with everybody. That's kind of been my background, and I've got a lot of business background too.
I like that. Now, I asked you something about your business, but I didn't ask you what are some of your biggest challenges as a business owner, because part of what we're going to look for in a mayor is being able to run a business, because Columbus is a business.
Right. Well, one of them, as you know, as a business owner, is don't spend more than you make. And treat your employees, meaning my wife and a couple other people, like they were your customer, and have them happy, and make sure your place is clean, and you deliver the service that you said you would deliver. And you can take a small business and expand it on a big scale. All the big corporations use that same philosophy.
That is wonderful. Now, we got to take a break.
Good.
As in all things, we have to make sure we pay the bills.
Good.
We're going to take a little moment out, and then we're going to be back and ask Mr. Caradine about his platform. But even more than that, what makes him the best candidate? We want to know why he thinks that. Watch us.
Thank goodness, real lawyers aren't like the ones on television. They seem willing to do anything to get ahead, letting their ethics and principles fall by the wayside. At the Colum Law Firm, we always try to act with integrity. We ask juries to do justice to our clients as well as to the other side. We will not do anything to win, except work hard. The Colum Law Firm, a different kind of lawyer.
Pete and Anika Perkins, realtors at JTS and Company. Call them at 662-329-9090 or 662-242-1694. They are located on 114 4th Street South, or write them, P.O. Box 1071, Columbus, Mississippi 39703. Call Pete and Anika Perkins. They are the family that can get you into a home. Serenity Christian Supplies, located at 1906 Military Road, Columbus, Mississippi. Call us at 662-328-4445. We want to supply all of your Christian supply needs. Here at Serenity Christian Supplies, we have it all. On-Time Transportation, Stephen and Paula James would like to serve you. Professional service 24 hours a day. Call them at 662-241-6600 or go to their website www.ontime-ms.com.
Give us a call at On Time Transportation, where we will meet all of your transportation needs on time.
Welcome back to the McFarland Report. You all know who I am, Kenneth McFarland. We have Sid Caradine here, a mayoral candidate for the city of Columbus. Now, we said that we were going to come back and ask him the hard questions. Now, tell us the layout of your primary goals for the city if you are elected.
Well, there's one way of remembering it. EERIT, and that stands for education, economic development, recreation, infrastructure, and transportation. But I want you to know this. My emphasis is on one thing, and one thing only, for the next 2 years and 8 months, and it is education. Right now, without that, here in the city and in the county doesn't get a bye, that if we don't have an education, and you're going to hear a lot about this. I heard it this afternoon at the Rotarian and Link Luncheon, and it was a big layout, and you will have read about it in the paper by the time you hear this, that if we don't get our education up, you can forget about the potholes and the streets and the drainage and the beautiful recreation fields and the transportation, because the people won't come here. If our education is not up to par, they're going to go, because the number one force in getting business to come to this area is education. And that's what you'll be hearing about over the next few months and next year. And this is what I really want to emphasize to everybody. And that's my platform.
I'm so glad you said that, because I think our children are our future, and they're going to be our future sooner than we think. So what do you think some of those problems are, and what do you plan to do as mayor in order to fix some of those?
Well, as mayor, I can help address the problems with the superintendent of education and the board of education, and work with the city council to get that message out to the citizens, not just in Columbus, but Lowndes County and all over. This is a very important issue. And as the, so to speak, the captain of the ship, I'll sit back and help promote these messages.
The bully pulpit, as they say.
Well, I don't know about bully pulpit, but it's important. I like to listen, and I can think on my feet. But we have such a wonderful city council. They're going to work with this link committee, the educational link committee run by Roger Burlingame. And some of the things that I heard this afternoon was that SECO, just one of the things, is we think it's so important that parents get with their kids in the business community and the faith-based organizations, that he's going to actually let some of the workers get off to go to school, to be there for that child for certain events. And this is what we have to do. We have to grab these kids and be part of them. This is it's a whole new ball game as far as the way we're thinking. Whether you say we're thinking inside the box or outside the box, we've got to listen. The thinking that we got here, these problems we have now, it's not going to be the same thinking that got us in this situation. We have to think differently.
Many people are talking about exactly the things that you're talking about, but one of the things I hear more about than anything is unification. Now, do you feel this is going to be a challenge?
Unification in which way?
Unification of the people of Columbus. What are we going to do about bringing those people together on both sides of the aisle, Republican and Democrat, black and white, young and old? Because we got a lot of people here with different ideas. How do we bring it all together?
Well, for those of you that are voting, you know this is an open election and there's no Democrat or Republican ticket. So if you want to vote independent, just think of me as independent, and it'll give you a chance to vote independent. So that'll be one way.
Wink, wink.
Yeah, but I've always helped in the diversity in this town. When I moved back here, I left for a few years to help my brother with his log home business, and I started with the old Chamber of Commerce. Was on the community relations. I don't think they have that anymore, but I started the first picnic, and Dr. Stringer was on my committee, and it was a wonderful thing, and that was something we did 15 years ago. But I don't think of it that way. I think when you start thinking of that way, you're being diverse in itself, whether it's Republican or Democrat or white or black or Mexican white or that sort of thing. You've got. I remember what Barbara Brandon said, that we're all on the same ship, and God sees no color.
Well, that's a wonderful expression.
He sees only love.
And we all should, and we
will at
one day. I'm a firm believer in afterlife,
yes,
and when we go to heaven. But
yes,
we
sir.
have to most definitely recognize the divisiveness that we have, not only in politics,
yes,
but life in general.
Right. We got to get over that. It's not just our community. We're fighting against all the communities that want all these businesses to come in. In fact, I was told today that there's $300 million worth of businesses that are looking to come to 3 different places: Columbus, Lowndes County, Lee County, Tupelo, and DeSoto County outside of Memphis. And DeSoto County has 1 level 4 school, and the rest of them are level 5. So we've got to get our education up for the future, not just for our city, but for the state and for the United States. We've got to have these kids smarter than the rest of the kids around the world, because it's a closing environment, and this is very important right now. We got the chance. As it was said, the ball is in our court, and if we lose it, it's our fault.
So we got to get in this ship and all of us start rowing together.
That's right.
I like that. I really do like that. It is important, not only to Brother Caradine, but most definitely to me, that we bring this thing together because we got
Yes,
a
sir.
lot to do. I appreciate that. That has
Thank you.
been so well said. You did a beautiful job.
Thank you.
I've enjoyed you, but do you have anything else that you'd like to tell our viewers today?
In closing,
Please.
yes, sir, I would. I want you to know that that image is what people think we are. Integrity is what we really are. And when you look at integrity, it's the only path that you'll never get lost on. And I appreciate your support. And whether you vote for me, just get out and vote.
That is so well said. I tell you, all of you need to understand Mr. Sid Caradine is here, and we want to thank you so very much for joining us today. We are having a wonderful time. We hate to say bye-bye, but we want to thank you for taking this time to speak to us, and we want to thank you for viewing us because you didn't have to do it. This is about 6 o'clock, so we got to go. Join us for the mayoral series next week. We will be talking to Jay Jordan, Councilman for Ward 5. Councilman, remember to vote October the 10th. Your vote counts towards our future. This is Brother Kenneth McFarland, and you're watching the McFarland Report. Have a great day. This is Kenneth McFarland, and you're watching the McFarland Report. I hope you've enjoyed the program, but we have wonderful things in store for you, especially this mayoral series that we're doing right now. Look, we want you to get out and do something. Why do we say we want you to do this? Because this is important to our future. We continue to say this because we want you to believe it. We want you to get up and get out and vote. What am I saying? It doesn't matter what side of the tracks you're on. It doesn't matter whether you're in the front, the back, the left, or the right. You need to come out and make a choice so that we can have a decision made, that we can have the best candidate that we possibly can. Can we do this? Can we get up and do these things that it takes to make sure that our community is counted? Look, it's not only for Columbus. Columbus is important, but for the state of Mississippi, even this country, if you don't vote, then guess what? You can't complain. We need you. We need you to stand up and be counted. How can I say this? I tell you how I can say it. Look, we've been doing this for a long time now, and all you have to do is to be one of those that will be counted. If you have not made up your mind, if you look at all of these candidates, then you too can make a decision on what you should do. You've heard what they had to say. And those that you have not heard on our show, and we apologize for those that we couldn't get on the show, but we really wanted to get everyone, but we'll be talking to you soon as well. Whoever wins, it doesn't matter if your candidate didn't win, then we must come together so that we can make a difference in this community. I'm enjoying myself in this. This show is important to me. The McFarland Report. We want to bring you stories and interests that can only improve our community. Not only inform you on what's going on in this community, but all over the country. Why can we do that, or why do we do that? Because this community is ours, and we can improve our community. We can improve our community if we are informed. We're going to inform you here at the McFarland Report. We love you, and we want to make sure that you get the word, you get the message, you get the information that you need in order to make sure that this is a beautiful society. Look, the potholes, the schools, all of the issues that you might have, and I know there's a lot of them. I know that you're looking at things right now. It may not be going the way you think it should go, but if all of us come together and we can make this thing work like never before. I'm looking at all the candidates, and I've spoken to all the candidates, and I know for a fact that we can make this happen. If you come and join us right now, so get up. You know what you're doing. You know what time it is. October the 10th, you need to get out and vote. Whatever time you can find that day to get out and vote, then come out and join us. Look, all the candidates are looking forward. They want you to come out and participate. Support them. If you find a candidate that you like best, get out and support him. Let your friends know what's going on. It only works when we come together. And when we come together, man, what a powerful thing that this can be. Whether you in Christian, the Christian community, whether you in the secular community, it doesn't matter. We all are living in this country together. We're living in this city called Columbus together. And we can make this happen. You know what? I found out that they used to call Columbus Possum Town. Now that was unusual to me. But we've gone from Possum Town to Columbus Columbus, Mississippi, and we can make this work. All you have to do is to get up and get involved. I got to go. We got a lot of things to do, but guess what? I want to make sure that we make this happen, and we can only make this happen if you get up and become a part of it. Can you do that for me? Can I say any more? Can I do any more? I don't believe so. So all you got to do is to help us. Keep looking at the show. We're coming on every Sunday at 5:30, and you too can be a part. Take care.